The Constitution of Kenya Explained Episode 0, Introduction, Preamble, and Chapter 1 Ready-to-Record Audio Narration, Script. Welcome to the Constitution of Kenya Explained. This series is designed for every Kenyan. Students, teachers, civil servants, business owners, voters, community leaders, and anyone who wants to understand how Kenya is governed. Many people hear about the Constitution during elections, court cases, public debates, or national crises. Yet few people have taken the time to understand what it actually says and why it matters in everyday life. The Constitution is not just a legal document for lawyers and judges. It is the foundation of Kenya's government, the source of citizens' rights, and the framework that guides how power is exercised in our country. Whether you are applying for a job, starting a business, voting in an election, seeking justice, accessing government services, or simply exercising your rights as a citizen, the Constitution affects your life. In this series, we will break down every chapter, article, and major constitutional principle into clear and simple language. We will explain what each provision means, why it exists, and how it affects ordinary citizens. We will use practical examples, real-life situations, and easy-to-understand explanations while remaining faithful to the meaning of the Constitution. So, before we begin Chapter 1, let us first understand the overall structure of the Constitution of Kenya, 2010. The Constitution is divided into 18 major chapters. Chapter 1 establishes the sovereignty of the people and the supremacy of the Constitution. Chapter 2 defines the Republic of Kenya, including national values, symbols, languages, culture, and governance principles. Chapter 3 addresses citizenship, explaining who qualifies as a Kenyan citizen and the rights attached to citizenship. Chapter 4 contains the Bill of Rights, one of the most important sections of the Constitution. It protects freedoms such as equality, dignity, expression, religion, privacy, fair hearing, property rights, and many others. Chapter 5 deals with land and environmental matters, including public land, private land, community land, and environmental protection. Chapter 6 focuses on leadership and integrity, establishing ethical standards for public officers and state leaders. Chapter 7 explains how the people are represented through elections, political parties, and electoral institutions. Chapter 8 establishes Parliament and explains how laws are made. Chapter 9 creates the executive branch of government, including the President, Deputy President, Cabinet, and other executive offices. Chapter 10 establishes the judiciary and the court system. Chapter 11 creates devolved government and explains how counties operate. Chapter 12 regulates public finance, taxation, budgets, revenue allocation, public debt, and government spending. Chapter 13 addresses the public service and commissions responsible for managing public servants. Chapter 14 deals with national security institutions including the military, intelligence services, and police. Chapter 15 establishes constitutional commissions and independent offices. Chapter 16 provides procedures for amending the Constitution. Chapter 17 contains general provisions regarding interpretation and enforcement. Chapter 18 contains transitional and consequential provisions that guided Kenya's movement from the previous constitutional order to the current one. Together, these chapters create the framework through which Kenya is governed. Now let us turn to the preamble. The preamble serves as the introduction to the Constitution. It reflects the values, aspirations, and principles that inspired the people of Kenya when adopting this Constitution. The preamble recognizes several important ideas. First, it acknowledges the supremacy of Almighty God. Second, it honors those who struggled for freedom and justice. Third, it celebrates Kenya's ethnic, cultural, and religious diversity. Fourth, it emphasizes peace, unity, and national sovereignty. Fifth, it recognizes environmental stewardship and responsibility toward future generations. Sixth, it commits the nation to protecting individuals, families, communities, and the country as a whole. Seventh, it embraces values such as human rights, equality, democracy, social justice, freedom, and the rule of law. Most importantly, The preamble declares that the Constitution is given by the people to themselves and future generations. This means the Constitution derives its legitimacy from the people of Kenya. Imagine a young Kenyan student asking, "Who created the Constitution?" The answer is not Parliament. The answer is not the President. The Constitution itself declares that it is the people of Kenya who adopted and enacted it. That idea becomes the foundation of Chapter 1. Chapter 1, Sovereignty of the People and Supremacy of the Constitution. This chapter contains 3 articles. Article 1, Sovereignty of the People. Article 2, Supremacy of the Constitution. Article 3, Defense of the Constitution. These 3 articles form the constitutional foundation of the entire republic. Without understanding them, it is difficult to understand the rest of the Constitution. Article 1. Sovereignty of the people. The first principle established by the Constitution is simple but powerful. All sovereign power belongs to the people of Kenya. In practical terms, sovereignty means the highest authority in the country. The Constitution declares that the ultimate source of authority is not the president, not parliament, not the courts, and not any government institution. The ultimate source of authority is the people. This means every public office exists because the people have allowed it to exist through the Constitution. The Constitution further explains that the people may exercise this power directly or through democratically elected representatives. Direct exercise of power may occur through constitutional referenda and other forms of public participation. Indirect exercise occurs when citizens elect leaders to represent them. For example, when citizens vote for members of parliament, governors, senators, members of county assembly, or the president, they are delegating authority to those leaders. However, that authority still belongs to the people. The leaders are exercising delegated power, not personal power. The Constitution identifies 3 major state organs through which sovereign power is exercised. First, Parliament and county assemblies. These institutions make laws. Second, the national executive and county executives. These institutions implement laws and administer government. Third, the judiciary and independent tribunals. These institutions interpret laws and resolve disputes. Each of these institutions must operate within constitutional limits because their authority originates from the people. Imagine a member of parliament claiming, "I can do whatever I want because I was elected." Article 1 rejects that idea. The MP was elected by the people and can only exercise authority within constitutional boundaries. No leader owns power. Leaders temporarily exercise power entrusted to them by citizens. That is the essence of democratic governance. The central message of Article 1 is, power belongs to the people, and all public authority is exercised on behalf of the people. Article 2. Supremacy of the Constitution. If Article 1 tells us where power comes from, Article 2 tells us the rules that govern that power. Article 2 establishes that the Constitution is the supreme law of Kenya. This means every person and every state institution is bound by it. No one is above the Constitution, not the president, not parliament, not judges, not governors, not cabinet secretaries, not ordinary citizens. Everyone must obey the Constitution. The Constitution also states that no person may exercise state authority unless authorized by the Constitution. This principle prevents unlawful seizure or exercise of power. Suppose a public official decides to create a new government office and exercise powers not granted by law. Article 3. Defense of the Constitution. Article 2 would prohibit such actions because state authority must originate from constitutional or legal authorization. The Constitution further declares that any law inconsistent with the Constitution is invalid. This is an extremely important principle. Imagine Parliament passes a law that violates a constitutional right. The Constitution takes priority. Courts may declare such a law unconstitutional. Similarly, if a government action contradicts the Constitution, that action may be invalidated. The Constitution therefore acts as a safeguard against abuse of power. Article 2 also recognizes that certain principles of international law and treaties ratified by Kenya become part of Kenyan law. This allows Kenya to participate in the international legal community while maintaining constitutional supremacy. The central message of Article 2 is, the Constitution is the highest law in Kenya, and all laws and actions must conform to it. Article 3. Defense of the Constitution. Article 3 places a responsibility on every person. Not only leaders, not only judges, every person. The Constitution states that every individual has an obligation to respect, uphold, and defend the Constitution. This means constitutional responsibility is shared by all citizens. Defending the Constitution does not necessarily mean dramatic actions. Often it means respecting the law, participating in democratic processes, reporting corruption, protecting rights, and promoting constitutional values. The Constitution also declares that any attempt to establish a government outside constitutional procedures is unlawful. This principle protects democratic governance and constitutional order. Imagine a group attempts to seize governmental authority without following constitutional processes. Article 3 makes clear that such actions would be unlawful because legitimate authority must arise through constitutional mechanisms. The Constitution therefore protects stability, democracy, and lawful governance. Article 3 teaches that defending the Constitution is not only a government responsibility. It is a responsibility shared by every Kenyan. Let us summarize Chapter 1. Article 1 teaches that sovereign power belongs to the people. Article 2 establishes that the Constitution is the supreme law. Article 3 requires every person to respect, uphold, and defend the Constitution. Together, these three articles create the foundation upon which the entire Constitution rests. Every chapter that follows builds upon these principles. Power belongs to the people. Power must be exercised according to the Constitution. And every citizen has a role in protecting the constitutional order. In our next episode, we will explore Chapter 2, the Republic. We will discuss the Declaration of the Republic, the territory of Kenya, devolution, national values, official languages, national symbols, culture, and the principles that define the Kenyan state. Thank you for listening to the Constitution of Kenya Explained. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and remember, a constitution is strongest when the people understand it.